Here's why I think you have a much better chance to successfully make money online with digital marketing and affiliate marketing that you learn from a proven course than, say, someone who does have some kind of experience from making money online learning from that same course. Okay? As a complete beginner, you don't know your left from your right, right? And if you're someone that's serious and really eager to learn and soak everything up, right? You will go through that course in detail, right? You will go through everything because you don't know anything, right? You will go through every module, you will soak up all the information, you will follow all the directions step by step and doing everything as they lay out for you, right? Whereas the experienced individual, right, may see certain things or certain areas and just jump over them, gloss over them, or skip them altogether because they may see that it's a topic that, okay, they already know, that they're already familiar with, right? Whereas there are certain details in there, right, that are really critical to you being successful, right? You might know like certain things, right? But it's different when you're learning from, say, someone who is already successfully doing the stuff that's being taught in there, right? Who's doing it at an extremely high level, right? You're going to get certain insights and certain, nuanced little bits, tidbits of information that can make all the difference, okay? And I'm saying this from my personal experience, right? I have gone through a course, right, where I see information and I just jump over it because it's like, okay, this is really basic. I don't need to go through all that, right? And then later on down the line, just because I want to be really familiar with everything that's inside, if I'm going to promote the course, like the one that I have right now, Digital Wealth Academy, you can access it in the first link in the description below this video if you're watching on YouTube, or you can get it in my bio if you're watching on any other platform. That is a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. There are modules in there that are like some of the earlier ones that I just, when I was going through the course the first time around, I just skipped over them because it was like, okay, this looks like basic stuff for me and all that, right? But then when I decided that, okay, if I'm going to promote this course, I want to know what is all in there, right? So that if I can be of service to people who have questions about it and really give them the information that they really want to know. I started going all through the stuff and I was like, holy moly, right? Like, this is like stuff that I had, things that I looked at as basic, right? That I skipped over. It makes a whole big difference when you're learning that same stuff that you think you already know from someone who's doing it at a much higher level, right? Like inside Digital Wealth Academy, you have training taught by 6-figure, 7-figure, and even 8-figure mentors, okay? And I was going through some of the stuff that was being taught by the 8-figure mentor that they have in there, and stuff that I thought I already quote unquote knew as basic, right? I saw things in a completely different light. Like that just opened my eyes to some really nuanced different ways of approaching the marketing and understanding the digital marketing and how to implement certain things, right? Those are all things that because in my mind it's like, okay, I already know this stuff, I just jumped over them, I skipped over. Whereas the beginner who acknowledges the fact that they don't really know anything, they're combing through everything, right? They're going through everything and really soaking up in the information, which is why it is very common to see people who are quote unquote complete beginners who have no prior experience come in and start to do extremely well and do even way better than, say, people who are quote unquote already experienced, right? Who have already been making money online, right? So that's, I mean, this was kind of like an eye-opening thing to me, right? In a weird way. It's like, and as a result of this experience, I now know going forward, no matter how much I know or no matter how much I think I know, anything that I, invest in the future to learn from, whatever, like I'm gonna, you want to treat it as if you are a complete beginner, okay? You want to treat it as if you're a complete beginner, especially if you're learning from people who are way more advanced, playing the game at a much higher level than you, right? You may think you already know what digital marketing is or how to go about doing your branding and your marketing and all that. But when you're learning that stuff from people who are doing it at a much higher level, there are little bits of information and little things that you probably or possibly might not have already known. And those little things can be the key difference, can be that little switch, that little knob that you need to turn to give you that result that you've been looking for, that has been eluding you all this time, right? So when people say, right, when you hear people talking about if you want to get started with digital marketing and you want to get some kind of program or training, when people say you need to go through the information, you really do need to do that. Okay, you really need to do that, especially when you have the luxury of having, the type of mentors that you typically wouldn't get access to, like on a regular basis. Like, how often is it that you're going to come across someone who has made 8 figures in the space, or 7 figures, or whatever the case may be, right? Or six, whatever it is, right? How often is it that you're going to get the type of information and insight that you would get from those kind of people, right? It's not often that you come across those type of people. And Digital Wealth Academy is just one of those courses that, at least for me, it was, right. Like, I don't know, maybe you might be way more experienced, or and you might have already seen this stuff. I don't know, right. I thought I'd seen it. Well, I had seen it, right. I had seen it, but not in the way that it was, the information was presented to me in that particular course, right. So this is just something for you to know. Like, if you are a beginner and you feel like, you need to have some kind of experience, and you need to have done something prior, right, in order to have a chance of having success with this, just throw that out the window. Just go in ready to learn, soak up all the information, take notes. I mean, I've seen how good it was, and to the point where I was like, I've got to go through all this stuff again. Okay, again, like, there's too much for you to just remember all at once. So, but anyway, that's something that I wanted to share. Something to keep in mind: the importance of actually going through the information and learning the skills, gaining the knowledge that you need to give yourself the best possible chance of succeeding when you actually implement the information that you've learned. All right. If you have any questions for me, put them in the comment section below. I will be sure to respond. If you're ready to get started, with a Digital Wealth Academy, it's going to be the first link in the description below this video if you're watching on YouTube. And if you want to start in the shallow end, I do have a free course for you that can act as an appetizer and get you started, show you how to get going the right way, right? And then if you're ready for the deep end at the end of it, you might as well get going with DWA as well. All right, Digital Wealth Academy. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will catch you in my next one. Ciao.